Hey everyone, my name's Grant and this is Work Modern. Today we're going to be looking at Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat, a secure generative AI capability built into your Microsoft 365 subscription. We're going to look at how we can have it reason over our data to do things like visualization, summarization. We're going to use it to draft content, and we're also going to use it to do some web research. So let's get after it. So the first thing we're going to do is navigate over to Copilot Chat. Now I can go directly there via URL. The one I like to use is office.com/chat. But you see here within Microsoft 365, kind of the Microsoft 365 dashboard, that I've already got this Copilot icon. So I'll click that, and that takes me to Copilot Chat. And I see that it's going to give me a lot of interesting suggestions here for how I can start to leverage generative AI to make my day a little bit easier. But I have a specific task in mind, and that is to help me understand some data that was recently sent. So I'm going to pull that data up here. It's just a CSV file. I've never seen this data before. We see that it's telling me that I can manage this in OneDrive for Business once I do upload it. But I'm going to send it this data set and just get a basic understanding of what's in this data set. So it's got 45 rows, 9 columns, and it looks like it's giving me a preview of what's in that data set. So I see that it's about a construction project or a set of construction projects. So without even opening a big scary CSV, I can understand that this is about construction projects and budgets and things like that. So I'll say, do you see any trends or outliers in the data? So this is great because as a non-data analyst person, I'm able to just have a conversation with the data, which is really neat. So it's going to go ahead and look at that CSV data for trends or outliers. And I see that there are some material cost trends, labor cost trends, project size, equipment usage. And check this out. It created a dashboard of all of this data for me. Wow, that's a pretty cool visualization. Now I'm going to save this for sure and send this to my boss and look like I'm a superstar data analyst. But just an amazing capability. And I haven't even opened up Excel, which is how I might have done this before I had Copilot Chat, but I mean, just wow. So I can also ask for different types of visualizations too. It's big on the line charts in this case, but maybe I want to create a correlation matrix and understand the data in a different way, right? So we can represent different trends and different pieces of this data with different types of visualizations, because Copilot is very aware of all of the different types of visualizations to be created here. So a correlation matrix shows us kind of the correlation between materials and labor and project size, and just gives me some key observations with that correlation matrix as well. I can also ask it for bar charts, scatter plots, just whatever sort of visualization that I want. Let's just focus in a little bit on something up here in the top, which is enterprise data protection. So up here in the top, we see this little green shield, which means that when I'm using Copilot Chat, I'm protected. So Microsoft or Microsoft 365 is not going to sell my data. It's not going to use my data to train its model or anything like that. Whereas if I upload the same data to a consumer-based service, I might not have that same protection. So that's something really important for us to remember when we're using Copilot Chat in a safe, secure way. Let's do some web research, because now that we understand what's going on kind of with the data and the trends, let's do some research and look at our compare our project's profit margins and ROI with industry averages to identify areas for financial improvement. So now we're going outside and we're looking at these trends and the and the rest of the world and seeing how we compare. So we're searching the web, it kind of tells us what it's doing. So this is pretty cool. So it's calculating my profit margins and ROI based on all of the costs that it sees. And then it's comparing with industry averages. So our profit margin is significantly higher than the industry average of 6%. Okay, and my ROI is much higher than the typical industry ROI percentages. So that's great. But it also gives me areas for financial improvement. I love this. So now that I've safely and securely uploaded my data, I've asked questions about my data, I've visualized it in some really interesting ways, and I've done some research based on that data and pulled in industry data to support that. What I want to do now is draft an email to my manager, just kind of showing off how well we've done with our projects. So I'll say draft an email to my manager that talks about our profits versus industry, as well as the labor cost trends. Include a visualization. Okay. So this is kind of the culmination of everything that we've just done. We're pulling in our data visualizations, we're pulling in our web research, and we're pulling in some of these insights that we've gained thanks to Copilot. So here's our draft. It says, "Hi manager, I hope this finds you well." So it's going to talk about, just like I asked, it's talking about our project profits versus industry. It's going to show us this very, very clear labor cost trend visualization. And it's going to also include some of these recommendations for financial improvement. Now, I didn't request that, but this is part of the context of the conversation that I've been having with Copilot. Now, another thing to note is that all of these conversations are available here in the chat history when I pull open this sidebar. So these are some easy ways for you to use Copilot Chat and really supercharge your day and save a lot of time. So thanks for watching and best of luck. Put in the comments below any ways that you use Copilot Chat, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.